Liam woke up early as usual, the soft glow of the morning sun peeking through his small apartment window. He rubbed his eyes and sighed. Another day of classes, work, and trying to make ends meet. College was tough, and he had always known that it wouldn't be easy, but sometimes it felt heavier than he expected. As he got ready, he glanced around his modest apartment. The walls were bare, save for a small calendar and a few old posters, and the furniture was simple, mostly hand-me-downs from relatives. Yet despite its simplicity, this space was his sanctuary. It reminded him that no matter how hard life got, he had a place to come home to. He quickly made his bed and prepared a simple breakfast, just toast and tea, before grabbing his backpack and heading out. The streets were lively with the morning rush. People were hustling to work, students were hurrying to their classes, and the air carried the faint hum of car engines and distant chatter. Liam moved through it all, careful not to bump into anyone, lost in his own thoughts. College life wasn't just about studying for Liam. It was a constant balancing act. Between classes, work, and trying to keep up with his assignments, he barely had time to breathe. Today, however, there was an unusual excitement buzzing in the air. Posters had gone up around campus announcing the upcoming dance event. Brightly colored flyers decorated the bulletin boards, and students were already talking about it in the hallways. Liam stopped for a moment to look at one of the posters. A smile tugged at his lips despite the familiar pang of worry in his chest. He had always loved the idea of dances, twirling around with someone special, laughing, feeling alive. But he knew the reality. He couldn't afford a fancy outfit, let alone the social expectations that came with such events. He pushed the thought aside and continued to his first class, trying to focus on the lecture, though his mind kept drifting back to the dance. During a short break, Liam wandered toward the student services office. He often stopped there, not because he needed anything from the office itself, but because he liked the warmth that filled the space. The staff was always kind, ready to help anyone who came through the door. It was a place that made him feel seen, even if just a little. That was where he first met Avery. Avery was busy organizing files at her desk when Liam peeked inside. She looked up, her face breaking into a welcoming smile as she noticed him. Her presence was calming, as if she carried a little bubble of light around her wherever she went. She greeted him warmly, asking how classes were going and if he needed any assistance. Liam shook his head, smiling back, grateful for her genuine kindness. He lingered for a few moments, watching her work. There was something about the way she moved, careful yet confident, that made him feel comfortable. Over the months, he had seen her help countless students, always patient, always encouraging. To Liam, she was more than just a staff member. She was a quiet force of support in a world that often seemed overwhelming. His thoughts returned to the dance. A sudden, almost impulsive idea popped into his head. He hesitated for a moment, feeling a mix of nervousness and hope. Could he actually do it? Could he ask Avery to be his date? It seemed absurd, almost foolish, yet he felt a strange surge of courage. Taking a deep breath, he approached her desk. "Hey, Avery. I know this might sound weird," he started, his voice slightly shaky. "But would you maybe be my date to the dance?" He quickly added, "I know it's probably a crazy idea, and you don't have to say yes, I just thought I'd ask." Avery blinked, clearly surprised. She wasn't expecting a student to ask her that, and certainly not Liam, who was always so polite and a little reserved. She paused, a small smile playing on her lips. There was a warmth in her eyes as she considered his request. She could see the nervousness, the genuine hope in his expression. "Liam," she said softly, "that's a sweet and brave thing to ask. I'd be honored to go with you." Liam's eyes widened. He could hardly believe it. He felt a rush of excitement and relief wash over him. Avery's agreement felt like a small miracle, a chance for him to experience something magical amidst the struggle of his daily life. They chatted briefly about plans for the dance, and Avery promised to help him in any way she could, from finding a suitable outfit to giving him a few pointers for dancing. Liam thanked her, feeling a warmth in his chest he hadn't felt in a long time. As he walked back to his next class, his mind raced with possibilities. The thought of the dance no longer felt impossible. With Avery's help, maybe he could actually enjoy the night without feeling out of place. He imagined dancing, laughing, and simply forgetting about the weight of bills, assignments, and responsibilities for just a few hours. Over the next few days, Liam found himself looking forward to their little meetings. Every time he stopped by the student services office, he felt a mix of excitement and gratitude. Avery was kind, patient, and full of encouragement. She never made him feel out of place or awkward. Instead, she treated him like a friend, someone whose worth wasn't defined by money or social status. During one of their conversations, Liam hesitated and asked, "I don't suppose you'd have any tips for the dance? I've never really gone to one before." Avery laughed softly, a sound that was both light and comforting. "Of course. Dancing isn't about being perfect. It's about having fun and enjoying the moment. I'll help you, I promise." That afternoon, they spent time talking about music, laughter filling the small office as they shared stories and dreams. Liam realized that this wasn't just about the dance anymore. It was about connection, about finding someone who believed in him when life often felt overwhelming. He began to look forward to every interaction with Avery, not just for the dance, but for the sense of understanding and kindness she brought into his world. At home that evening, Liam sat by his small window staring at the street below. He felt a strange mix of nervousness and hope. The dance was approaching, and though he still didn't have everything figured out, he felt a spark of anticipation he hadn't felt in years. He thought about Avery, her smile, her words, and the way she had made him feel seen. It was a small light in the otherwise challenging routine of his life, but it was enough to lift his spirits. Liam spent the next few days quietly preparing in his own way. He saved a little money from his part-time jobs, hoping to manage a small gift for Avery as a thank you. He found a second-hand outfit that, with some adjustments, could look decent for the dance. He practiced a few basic dance steps at home, laughing at himself when he stumbled, but determined to improve. Each time he visited Avery, she noticed the effort he was putting in. She encouraged him, complimented his progress, and reminded him to enjoy the experience. Liam began to realize that this wasn't just about appearances or money. It was about sincerity, effort, and the courage to take a chance. By the night before the dance, Liam felt a mixture of nerves and excitement. He had never felt this level of anticipation for anything in his life. The thought of dancing with Avery, someone who had shown him so much kindness, made his heart race. He knew the journey to this point had been difficult, filled with struggle and uncertainty, but now, there was hope and the promise of a night that could change his outlook on life. As he lay in bed that night, Liam thought about how far he had come, the courage it took to ask someone to the dance, and the kindness he had encountered along the way. He realized that life was full of unexpected moments, and sometimes, taking a chance could lead to something truly special. With that thought, he drifted off to sleep, dreaming of the dance, the laughter, and the possibility of new beginnings. The morning after Liam asked Avery to the dance, he woke up with a mixture of excitement and nerves. He couldn't stop thinking about the upcoming event. The idea of actually going to a dance, dressed well and accompanied by someone as kind as Avery, felt almost surreal. He quickly got ready for the day, his thoughts drifting to the small preparations he still needed to make. As he walked through the campus, he noticed the chatter among students had increased. The dance was becoming the main topic everywhere. Groups of friends huddled together, discussing outfits, dates, and who they hoped to see there. Liam tried not to let it overwhelm him. He reminded himself that the important thing was enjoying the night, not trying to impress anyone. When he reached the student services office, Avery was already there, sorting through some paperwork. She looked up and smiled warmly as he entered. "Good morning, Liam. Are you ready for our little adventure?" she asked, her tone playful yet encouraging. Liam chuckled nervously. "I think so. I'm excited but also a bit worried. I don't want to mess things up." Avery shook her head gently. "You won't mess anything up. Just be yourself. That's the most important thing. And don't worry about clothes or dancing. I've got you covered." Over the next few days, they spent time together planning and preparing. Avery, who Liam knew only as a kind and helpful staff member, turned out to be incredibly organized. She helped him pick out a simple but stylish outfit, carefully explaining why certain colors and cuts would look best. They spent hours trying on clothes, laughing at the little misfits that didn't work, and celebrating when they found the right combination. While shopping and preparing, Liam learned more about Avery. She was thoughtful, patient, and genuinely interested in helping others. She listened attentively whenever he spoke about his struggles, offering advice without judgment. She encouraged him to believe in himself, reminding him that his worth wasn't defined by money or social status. Liam found himself opening up to her in ways he hadn't with anyone else. One afternoon, as they worked on practicing some dance steps, Liam felt his confidence grow. At first, he had been hesitant, tripping over his own feet and feeling awkward. But Avery was patient, showing him each move slowly, encouraging him with every small improvement. They laughed at his missteps and celebrated his successes, creating a bond filled with trust and genuine joy. During one of their practice sessions, Liam asked, "Avery, can I ask you something?" "Why are you being so kind to me?" "I mean, you don't have to help me." Avery smiled softly. "Liam, kindness doesn't need a reason. I enjoy helping people and seeing them grow. You're hardworking and sincere, and that's why I'm here to support you." Her words stayed with him. They made him realize that genuine care and support existed, even in a world that often felt harsh and unforgiving. He began to see Avery not just as a helper, but as a friend, someone who believed in him without expecting anything in return. As the days passed, the anticipation for the dance grew. Liam continued to juggle his classes and part-time jobs, but now there was a lightness to his routine. Even the smallest tasks felt more manageable because he had something wonderful to look forward to. He practiced walking with confidence, smiling in the mirror and imagining the dance night in vivid detail. Every step he took was a step toward a night that promised laughter, friendship, and unforgettable memories. Avery also prepared in her own way. She wanted the night to be special for Liam, but she kept her preparation simple, focusing on supporting him rather than herself. Despite her wealth and the privileges she could access, she remained grounded, wanting Liam to enjoy the experience without feeling overshadowed. She purchased small touches to make the evening comfortable and enjoyable, like a modest bouquet for Liam to carry or a card with encouraging words. Her thoughtful gestures were subtle but meaningful, showing that she valued the experience for him. Their bond continued to deepen. During their time together, they shared stories about their pasts, their dreams, and even their fears. Liam spoke about his family, his struggles to make ends meet, and his aspirations for the future. Avery shared insights from her own experiences, careful not to reveal her privileged background just yet. Their conversations were filled with laughter, empathy, and moments of quiet reflection, creating a foundation of trust and mutual respect. One evening, as they sat together going over dance steps, Liam hesitated. "Avery, I have to admit I'm still nervous. What if I look foolish? What if people laugh at me?" Avery reached out and gently tapped his shoulder. "Liam, no one will laugh at you. People notice fear and hesitation, but they also notice courage. And you, my friend, are brave. You asked me to the dance even though you were nervous. You've already taken the hardest step. Now just enjoy yourself. That's all that matters." Her words reassured him, and he felt a warmth in his chest. For the first time in a long while, he allowed himself to believe that he could have a night where he truly felt accepted and happy. He realized that the dance wasn't just about appearances or social status. It was about the joy of connection, laughter, and shared moments. As the night of the dance approached, Liam made final preparations. He carefully pressed his clothes, polished his shoes, and double-checked his small backpack to ensure he had everything he needed. Every detail mattered, but he also reminded himself to stay relaxed and enjoy the experience. Avery continued to offer encouragement and guidance. She helped him plan the timing of the evening, suggested practical tips for arriving and leaving, and even gave advice on how to interact with other students without feeling overwhelmed. Her presence was calming, and Liam found himself relying on her support more than he had anticipated. By the day before the dance, Liam felt a mixture of excitement, nervousness, and gratitude. He reflected on the journey that had brought him here, the courage it took to ask Avery to be his date, the preparation, the guidance, and the growing friendship. He realized that regardless of how the night would unfold, he had already experienced something meaningful and transformative. He spent that evening at home, rehearsing his steps one last time and imagining the smiles, laughter, and joy that awaited him. He felt ready, not just for the dance, but for the possibility of new experiences and new connections. He understood that this night could be a turning point, a chance to step into a moment where he could be fully present, appreciated, and celebrated for who he truly was. As he drifted off to sleep, his mind was filled with hope. The dance was no longer a distant dream. It was about to become a reality, With Avery by his side, he felt supported, encouraged, and ready to embrace whatever the night had in store. The anticipation was sweet, and for the first time in a long while, Liam felt a sense of excitement and confidence that promised a night he would never forget. The night of the dance finally arrived. Liam felt a whirlwind of emotions as he prepared in his small apartment. His outfit was neatly pressed, shoes polished, and hair combed just right. He looked at himself in the mirror, taking a deep breath. The nerves were still there, but they were mixed with excitement and anticipation. This was the night he had been waiting for, the night he would step out of his comfort zone and experience something magical. He left his apartment early, careful not to be late. The streets were lively, filled with students heading in the same direction. Music and laughter could be heard from a distance as people arrived at the venue. Liam felt a flutter in his chest. He wasn't sure what to expect, but he was determined to enjoy every moment. When he arrived, Avery was waiting outside. She looked radiant, simple yet elegant, and her smile instantly eased his nerves. She waved at him, and he waved back, feeling a warmth spread through him. The sight of her made him realize how lucky he was to have her by his side. "You look amazing, Liam," Avery said warmly. "Are you ready?" Liam nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and anxiety. "I think so. Thank you for doing this with me." Together they entered the dance hall. The room was filled with twinkling lights, laughter, and music. Students were chatting, dancing, and taking photos. The atmosphere was lively and vibrant. Liam's initial nervousness faded as he took in the scene. He realized that this was a place for fun, for enjoying the moment, and he wanted to make the most of it. Avery held out her hand and Liam took it, feeling a little more confident. They moved to the dance floor, where the music was lively and inviting. At first, Liam felt awkward, unsure of his steps, but Avery guided him gently, her presence comforting and reassuring. They laughed at their small missteps and celebrated their successes. Liam felt a sense of freedom he hadn't experienced in a long time. The worries of school, work, and life seemed to melt away, replaced by laughter, music, and the joy of being present. As they danced, Liam noticed people watching them. Some students who had looked down on him before now seemed surprised, perhaps even impressed, but he didn't let it bother him. He focused on Avery, on the fun they were having, and on the simple pleasure of dancing together. It didn't matter what others thought. What mattered was the connection they shared. Between dances, they sat at a small table, sipping water and catching their breath. The conversation flowed easily, filled with laughter and lighthearted teasing. Liam shared stories about his past, some of the struggles he had faced, and Avery listened intently, offering encouragement and understanding. She didn't judge or pity him. She treated him as an equal, as someone worthy of care and respect. At one point, a group of students approached, curious about the pair. Liam felt a little nervous, wondering what they might say or think. But Avery remained calm, confident, and gracious. They introduced themselves, and soon everyone was laughing and sharing stories. Liam realized that Avery's presence had not only made him feel comfortable, but had also helped others see him in a new light. Her kindness and genuine nature had a ripple effect, creating a welcoming atmosphere. As the night progressed, the music changed to slower, more romantic tunes. Liam felt his heart race, unsure if he could handle a slow dance. Avery noticed his hesitation and smiled reassuringly. "Just follow my lead," she whispered. "There's no right or wrong. Just enjoy the moment." He nodded, and together they moved to the center of the dance floor. Liam's initial stiffness began to fade as he focused on Avery's guidance and the rhythm of the music. They swayed gently, the world around them fading into the background. For Liam, this moment was pure magic. It wasn't about impressing anyone or fitting in. It was about being present, feeling connected, and experiencing joy. During a break, Liam glanced around and noticed the reactions of other students. Some looked surprised, others curious, but he realized it didn't matter. What mattered was the bond he shared with Avery and the experience they were creating together. He felt a sense of pride and confidence, not in how others viewed him, but in how he was living the moment fully. The night continued with laughter, dancing, and small moments of reflection. Liam and Avery shared stories, exchanged smiles, and encouraged each other. Every interaction strengthened their connection, built on trust, respect, and genuine care. Liam felt a sense of belonging he hadn't experienced before, and he realized that the night was about more than just a dance. It was about creating memories, building relationships, and embracing life's simple joys. As the evening came to a close, Liam felt a mixture of emotions. He was grateful for the experience, for Avery's presence, and for the courage he had shown in stepping out of his comfort zone. He knew that the night had changed him, given him confidence, and reminded him of the power of kindness and connection. Walking home, he reflected on the events of the night. The music, the laughter, the small moments of triumph and joy, all of it had left a lasting impression. He realized that the dance had been more than just an event. It had been a turning point, a chance to experience life fully, and a reminder that meaningful connections could come from the most unexpected places. Liam felt a sense of anticipation for the future, not because of the dance itself, but because of the possibilities it represented. With Avery by his side, he had discovered the joy of being present, the power of kindness, and the courage to embrace new experiences. The night had been a celebration of life, friendship, and the beauty of taking chances, and he carried its lessons with him as he looked forward to the days to come. The dance had been wonderful. Liam and Avery laughed, danced, and enjoyed themselves more than he could have imagined. The night had gone by so quickly, and yet it had left a lasting impression on him. As they stepped outside for a short break, the cool night air wrapped around them, and Liam felt a sense of peace he hadn't felt in a long time. He had been so focused on the fun of the evening that he hadn't thought much about what others might say about them, but as he glanced around, he noticed a few students whispering and pointing in their direction. Curiosity made him lean closer to Avery. "Do you know them?" he asked quietly, nodding toward the group. Avery's smile remained calm, almost knowing. "Just some classmates who recognize me, that's all. Don't worry about it." Liam nodded but felt a flicker of anxiety. He didn't know why, but something felt different. He watched as the group moved closer, their whispers becoming more audible. One of them finally stepped forward, a friendly smile on her face. "Hey, Avery, is that really you?" she asked. "I didn't expect to see you here. You look amazing tonight." Avery nodded graciously. "Yes, it's me," she said simply, her voice steady. Liam's curiosity grew, but he still didn't understand the significance of this moment. The student continued, "Wait, are you the CEO's daughter?" She seemed surprised, as if she hadn't expected to see Avery in this setting. Liam froze, his heart skipping a beat. The words didn't fully register at first. CEO's daughter? What did that mean? Avery looked at Liam and nodded slowly. "Yes, it's true. My family has a business, but I live a simple life here at college. I don't usually share it because I want to experience life normally." Liam's mind raced. Everything he had known about Avery, the person who had helped him, encouraged him, and become his friend, suddenly shifted. She wasn't just the kind and caring caregiver he had thought. She was someone from a world he had only dreamed of. He felt a mixture of shock, disbelief, and confusion. He turned to Avery, searching her face for reassurance. I didn't know. I had no idea," he stammered. The words felt inadequate to express the swirl of emotions he was experiencing. Avery placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Liam, please don't feel awkward or think differently about me. None of what I've done has changed. I asked to go to the dance because I wanted to, because I enjoy your company. My background doesn't matter in this moment." Her words slowly sank in. Liam felt a mixture of relief and admiration. He realized that Avery's kindness and genuine nature had never been about her wealth or social status. She had treated him as a friend, a peer, someone worthy of care and respect, and that was all that mattered. The group of students who had recognized Avery now stood nearby, watching quietly. Liam noticed the curiosity in their eyes, the way they seemed to reassess their assumptions. He felt a small surge of pride. He had known Avery in her true essence, not for her background or privilege, and he had shared this evening with her on equal footing. That realization gave him a sense of empowerment. As they returned to the dance floor, Liam's mind continued to process the revelation. He felt a renewed sense of confidence. The initial shock had faded, replaced by understanding and respect. He realized that Avery had chosen to be present with him, to support him, and to enjoy the night without letting her wealth or status define the experience. That choice spoke volumes about her character, and Liam felt honored to have shared the evening with her. The music shifted to a slower tune, and Liam extended his hand to Avery once more. She took it and they moved to the center of the floor. This time Liam felt a deeper connection, a sense of mutual understanding that went beyond the dance itself. They swayed together, the world around them fading into the background. It wasn't about impressing anyone or proving anything. It was about being fully present and appreciating the shared moment. Throughout the rest of the evening, Liam felt a mixture of joy and gratitude. He saw Avery interacting with other students, maintaining her warmth and kindness, and he realized that her character was genuine and unwavering. He didn't feel intimidated by her wealth or status. Instead, he felt inspired by the way she had chosen to live simply and connect with people authentically. During a quiet moment at the table, Liam finally spoke. "Avery, I have to tell you." I was surprised when I found out. But now I understand. None of that changes how I feel about this night or about you. You're amazing, and I'm really glad we did this together. Avery smiled, her eyes reflecting a gentle warmth. "Thank you, Liam, that means a lot. I wanted this to be about you, about us enjoying the evening and having fun. I'm glad we could share this experience." The night continued with laughter, dancing, and shared conversations. Liam found himself more relaxed, more confident, and more appreciative of the moments he had spent with Avery. The revelation about her background didn't create distance. Instead, it deepened his respect and understanding. He realized that true connection wasn't about money, status, or appearances. It was about genuine kindness, shared experiences, and mutual respect. As the evening came to a close, Liam felt a sense of fulfillment. The dance had been more than just an event. It had been a journey of growth, understanding, and connection. He had experienced the power of friendship, the value of courage, and the beauty of shared moments. Avery had shown him that kindness and authenticity were far more important than wealth or status, and that lesson stayed with him as they stepped outside into the night air. Walking together toward their separate paths, Liam felt a mixture of gratitude and hope. The evening had transformed his perspective not just on the dance but on life itself. He realized that meaningful connections could come from the most unexpected places, and that courage, sincerity, and kindness had the power to create unforgettable experiences. Liam knew that the night would remain with him forever, a reminder of the magic that could happen when someone dared to take a chance and someone else chose to meet them with genuine care. The revelation of Avery's identity had added a new layer of understanding, but it had not changed the essence of their connection. It had strengthened it, making Liam appreciate even more the rare and special moments that life could offer. The night of the dance slowly came to an end, but for Liam, it felt like the beginning of something new. Walking out of the hall, the cool night air greeted them, carrying the faint sounds of music from the remaining students still lingering inside. Liam felt a strange mix of emotions, gratitude, happiness, and a quiet sense of accomplishment. The evening had been more than he had ever imagined, and he knew that this was a memory he would carry with him for a lifetime. As they walked side by side toward the exit, Avery noticed the thoughtful expression on Liam's face. She nudged him gently. "You've been quiet. Thinking about the night, I suppose?" Liam nodded. "Yeah. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. I feel different, happier, lighter, and I think it's because of everything tonight, everything we shared." "I didn't expect this," Avery smiled softly. "That's wonderful, Liam. You deserve to feel that way. You worked hard, you took a chance, and you embraced the moment. Those things matter more than anything else." They paused at the corner of the street where their paths would soon diverge. Liam turned to her, a mixture of curiosity and gratitude in his eyes. "Avery, I want to say thank you. Not just for tonight, but for everything. For helping me, encouraging me, and just being there. I don't know how I would have done all this without you." Avery's expression softened. "Liam, it was my choice to be here. I enjoyed every moment, and seeing you happy makes it worthwhile. Remember, the courage and effort you put in were yours. I just helped along the way." Liam nodded, feeling the weight of her words. He realized that the evening had been a partnership, a shared experience where both of them had contributed in their own ways. It wasn't about her wealth or his struggles. It was about connection, mutual respect, and the joy of being present together. As they stood there, the quiet of the night surrounding them, Liam felt a sense of hope. He knew that life would continue to be challenging, with responsibilities, classes, and the constant balancing act of his part-time jobs. But he also knew that moments like this, rare and precious, were what made life meaningful. He had discovered the power of courage, the importance of kindness, and the joy of genuine connection. Avery looked at him, sensing his thoughts. Liam, I want you to remember something. No matter where life takes you, never lose sight of your worth. You've shown bravery, sincerity, and heart. Those qualities will carry you far. Her words resonated deeply with him. He realized that the evening had taught him more than just how to dance or enjoy a social event. It had taught him about himself, about trust, and about the value of human connection beyond appearances and social status. He felt empowered, ready to face the future with renewed determination. They walked a little further, sharing stories and laughter, enjoying the calm after the lively dance. Liam found himself more relaxed than he had been in months, feeling a sense of belonging and friendship that went beyond the night itself. Avery's presence had made him feel seen and appreciated, and he knew that this experience would shape the way he approached life and relationships moving forward. When they finally reached a familiar street corner, Avery stopped. "This is where we part ways for now," she said, her tone gentle but steady. "Remember, Liam, this night is yours to carry forward. Hold on to the lessons, the memories, and the feelings. They will guide you in ways you might not yet realize." Liam nodded, a smile spreading across his face. "I will, Avery, I promise. And thank you for everything. You made this night unforgettable." She smiled back, her eyes reflecting warmth and encouragement. "I'm glad, Liam, that's all I ever wanted. To see you happy and confident. Take care, and remember, you're capable of more than you know." As Liam watched her walk away, a sense of calm settled over him. The night had been more than just a dance. It had been a journey of growth, courage, and understanding. He had discovered that taking chances, embracing moments, and valuing genuine connections could lead to experiences that transformed life in meaningful ways. Walking back to his apartment, Liam reflected on everything he had learned. The dance had been a turning point, not because of the event itself, but because of the people, the interactions, and the courage it had inspired. He realized that life's challenges were easier to face when approached with sincerity, openness, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. By the time he reached his small apartment, Liam felt a sense of closure and anticipation all at once. The evening had ended, but the lessons, memories, and newfound confidence would stay with him forever. He placed his outfit neatly in the closet, sat by the window, and allowed himself a quiet moment of reflection. He thought about Avery, her kindness, and the genuine care she had shown. He thought about the courage it had taken to ask her to the dance, and the growth he had experienced through the preparation and the night itself. He realized that meaningful connections could come from the most unexpected places, and that life was full of opportunities to learn, grow, and experience joy. Liam leaned back in his chair, a contented smile on his face. He knew that the world would continue to present challenges, but he also knew that he had the strength, courage, and support to face them. The dance had been a celebration of more than just music and movement. It had been a celebration of life, friendship, and the human spirit. As he closed his eyes and reflected on the night, Liam felt a sense of hope for the future. The memories of laughter, dancing, and genuine connection would stay with him, guiding him and inspiring him in the days to come. He understood now that life's most meaningful moments often came from taking chances, opening one's heart and embracing the unexpected. With that thought, he allowed himself to drift into sleep, carrying the warmth of the evening and the lessons learned into his dreams. The dance had ended, but its impact on his heart and mind would last a lifetime, reminding him that courage, kindness, and genuine connection could transform even the simplest moments into unforgettable experiences. After the dance, life slowly returned to its usual rhythm for Liam, but something within him had shifted. He woke up each morning with a quiet confidence, a sense that the world was full of possibilities he had once thought out of reach. His classes were still demanding, his part-time job still exhausting, but the weight of daily struggle felt lighter. He had experienced something magical, a reminder that courage, connection, and kindness could make even the most ordinary moments extraordinary. Liam continued to see Avery regularly, though the encounters were no longer centered around preparation for the dance. They met for coffee, walked through the campus gardens, and shared stories about their lives. Their conversations flowed naturally, filled with laughter, empathy, and quiet understanding. Avery remained the same warm, genuine person he had come to admire, and Liam found comfort in the consistency of her presence. One afternoon, as they sat on a bench under the shade of a large tree, Liam reflected on how much he had changed. "Avery, I feel different," he admitted. "The dance and everything that came with it taught me a lot. I feel like I can face challenges in a new way now." Avery smiled, her eyes warm. "That's wonderful to hear, Liam. Life has a way of teaching us lessons when we least expect it. I'm glad the dance was meaningful for you. But remember, the lessons come from within. You took the steps, you had the courage, and that's what matters most." Liam nodded, understanding the truth in her words. He had stepped out of his comfort zone, asked someone to the dance, and allowed himself to be vulnerable. The experience had shown him that bravery wasn't about perfection or social status. It was about willingness to try, to open your heart, and to embrace the moment. As the weeks passed, Liam began to notice subtle changes in how he approached life. He spoke up more in class, shared his ideas without fear, and engaged more confidently with his peers. He still faced challenges, of course, but the lessons from the dance night stayed with him. He learned to value genuine connections over superficial judgments, and to recognize the power of sincerity and kindness in building meaningful relationships. Avery noticed these changes too. She encouraged him to continue exploring new opportunities, to seek experiences that nurtured his growth, and to never underestimate his own potential. She shared stories from her own life, illustrating that even people from privileged backgrounds faced challenges of their own, and that courage, humility, and empathy were what truly shaped character. One day, as they walked through a quiet part of the campus, Liam paused, looking thoughtful. "Avery, I've been thinking about what you said about taking chances and embracing the unknown. I want to do more, to step into opportunities that scare me, but I don't always know where to start." Avery placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Start with small steps, Liam. Every moment you face with honesty and courage builds your confidence. Life isn't about giant leaps all the time, it's about consistent effort, learning, and growth. You already took a big step by going to the dance. Now keep moving forward." Her words inspired Liam. He realized that life wasn't a series of isolated events. It was a continuous journey, shaped by the choices he made and the relationships he nurtured. The dance had been a catalyst, a spark that ignited his belief in himself and in the value of authentic human connection. Over the next few months, Liam took on new challenges. He volunteered to help organize campus events, started participating more actively in group projects, and even considered pursuing internships that had once seemed out of reach. Each step was guided by the lessons he had learned: courage, authenticity, and the willingness to embrace opportunities. Avery continued to be a supportive presence, offering guidance without imposing, encouraging without directing. She reminded Liam that growth was a personal journey, one that required patience, perseverance, and self-compassion. Through her support, he learned that meaningful mentorship and friendship could coexist, providing both guidance and space to develop independently. One evening, as they sat by the campus fountain, watching the water glisten in the fading sunlight, Liam felt a deep sense of gratitude. "Avery, I can't thank you enough," he said quietly. "For the dance, for your support, for believing in me. I feel like I've grown so much because of you." Avery looked at him with a gentle smile. "You've done the hard work, Liam. I've only been here to encourage you along the way. The growth comes from within you. Never forget that." He nodded, understanding that her role had been to guide and support, but the courage and determination had always been his own. That realization filled him with pride and a renewed sense of purpose. As the semester continued, Liam and Avery's friendship deepened. They shared more experiences, explored new ideas, and supported each other through challenges and successes. The bond they had formed at the dance had evolved into a meaningful connection, built on trust, respect, and genuine care. Liam learned to appreciate the value of relationships that transcended social status, wealth, or appearances. In quiet moments, Liam reflected on the journey that had begun with a simple question, asking someone to be his date to the dance. What had seemed like a small daring act had opened the door to a series of experiences that shaped his character, confidence, and outlook on life. He realized that bravery, authenticity, and openness were catalysts for growth, capable of transforming ordinary moments into extraordinary memories. As the academic year progressed, Liam approached each day with a renewed sense of purpose. He embraced challenges, nurtured connections, and continued to step out of his comfort zone. The lessons from the dance night, from Avery's guidance, and from their shared experiences became integral to his personal and emotional growth. One evening, as they walked back from a campus event, Liam turned to Avery. "You know, I never imagined that asking someone to a dance could lead to all this. I've learned so much about myself, about courage, and about what really matters in life." Avery smiled, her eyes reflecting pride and warmth. "Life has a way of surprising us, Liam. The important thing is to embrace it, learn from it, and continue to grow. You've done wonderfully, and I know you'll continue to do so." Liam felt a sense of fulfillment and hope. The journey that had begun with a simple act of courage had blossomed into a profound period of growth, understanding, and meaningful connection. He knew that the lessons he had learned and the experiences he had shared with Avery would guide him through future challenges and opportunities, shaping the person he was becoming. As they reached their usual parting spot, Liam felt a quiet sense of anticipation for the future. He understood that life would continue to present obstacles and surprises, but he also knew that he had the tools, the courage, and the relationships to navigate them successfully. The dance had been more than a single night of music and laughter. It had been a turning point, a catalyst for transformation, and a reminder of the power of genuine human connection. With a final smile and a word of encouragement from Avery, Liam continued on his way, carrying the lessons, memories, and inspiration from the dance and their friendship into the days to come. The journey was ongoing, and he was ready to embrace it fully, with courage, authenticity, and an open heart, knowing that meaningful experiences and connections could shape a life in profound and lasting ways.